Good evening and welcome to Garbage Theater, Shark Month.
Tonight's in store.
Oh God! Oh God! No, not again! The friggin' shark again! Somebody get Michael Caine to kill the shark the same way Prince Eric killed Ursula in The Little Mermaid! Oh God!
Welcome, folks, to another episode of Garbage Theater, Shark Month. I'm your host, Chase, with my co-hosts, Blake and John.
Hey.
I'm ready for this to be done with.
Well, then let's get this shit show on the road.
All right. What movie did we watch again?
Did you forget? Planet of the Goddamn Sharks.
It was a blur.
The biggest letdown of Shark Month.
What a disappointment.
It really was.
I expected so much more of this movie. It just did.
I'm sorry, fellas.
Not one shark on horseback.
Not a one.
You know what's bad is, like, I'm sitting there saying this has nothing to do with Planet of the Apes. Not that it was supposed to, but like that's all I kept saying through this whole thing. Between the times I was nodding off.
The only thing this had in common with Planet of the Apes was the Statue of Liberty at the end.
Right.
The end.
Well, they put it in the credits, the opening credits too.
Yeah,
correct.
Which
it bookended the movie.
I mean, come on, just at the end. At least then you have your little nod. You don't have to put it in the very beginning.
Well, what you gonna do?
Yeah. Well,
complain about it on the podcast.
Yes, complain a lot about it. This aggravating ass movie. Okay, so as John said, it opens up with an underwater panning shot, and we get to see the Statue of Liberty completely submerged underwater. So, water world is what we're talking here.
Right.
And I just want to go ahead and say right out of the gate, for a movie that's set on a planet covered in water, there were 4 boats in this entire thing. 2 of them were canoes.
Yeah. I don't know how people are getting around.
1 boat you didn't see until the final scene, and that was 6 months later.
What got me was in all the shots where the people are swimming in the water, they're only in about 3 foot deep of water.
Yes, you can see them
bottom.
like crawling on their hands and knees in the sand.
Yeah. So if the world's covered in water, they must have been on Everest when they were. I don't know.
Good Lord.
But yeah, you could see the bottom of the. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
And those sets were built just right out into the wake or whatever. You can, right out in there.
You can see the breakers.
See the waves crash.
You can see the breakers in the background.
Yeah.
It's just calm water and then breakers way out there.
Oh, and I got a lot of comments on the building materials of everything that was made out there.
Oh, you mean all the pallets?
No, not even that. I'm talking about where the harp was.
Oh, the AARP laser?
Because it looked like an old oil rig, which I have a lot of experience on old oil rigs. I can tell you now, none of them have brick walls.
Well, when you're building one to house a laser beam,
you still don't do it out of brick. Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
I'm taken away from our summary here. My bad.
No, that's fine. We open up on Junk City.
Yes.
Which is a couple of cardboard boxes tethered together on pallets.
And I'm starting to think that establishing shot of Junk City and the rest of them, I'm starting to think that those things weren't really there.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like I think I counted the individual sort of structures that make up the actual set of Junk City, and it's like 3 lifeguard towers bridged by pallets.
Right. Yeah.
That's like the whole thing.
So, Junk City's here. We're introduced to one of our characters, who's this young girl. Now, I don't know about the two of you, but the way they treated her in this opening scene, it really seemed they were going down the Waterworld vein, where she was going to be something special.
Yeah.
Because all
she
the
was
people of
important
Junk City
somehow.
were like, protect the girl and, get her away when the sharks came. And spoiler alert, she does nothing for the entire film.
The movie.
I think she might only.
Yeah. Go ahead.
She might only even have like one line.
Yeah.
She served no purpose whatsoever.
None.
She was the person that we as the audience were supposed to connect with, because she just sat there looking stunned at everything.
Well,
It was stunning.
So, Junk City gets attacked by a swarm of sharks that cause no ripples in the water.
Yeah, I got that too. There are shots later in the movie where the fins do disturb the water, but
Not the opening, not the establishing shot of the army of sharks.
So bad.
So, the sharks descend on Junk City, and they're rocketing out of the water and snapping people up off of those pallets.
Right.
And the urgency of the situation of these sharks killing everyone is kind of taken away when you watch all these warriors wobble walking on all of these pallets. They've got their arms out trying to balance.
yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It was an episode of Wipeout mixed into a shark movie.
Yeah. So they, again, they're protecting this girl. They stick her in a barrel to keep her safe from the sharks.
Right.
At one point, I don't know if you guys, I mean, you probably saw it because they hung on this shot for a while. A shark jumps up and eats a woman, and behind her, on a second row of pallets, there's two guys, and one of them seems to be cheering the fact that this woman died, because his fist is up in the air and he has a big smile on his face, and this is all in slow motion, and he slowly just falls backwards into the water.
Well, in a callback to
That's the woman.
that's actually a callback to avalanche sharks. That same woman had promised him sex treats and didn't deliver, so he was happy.
Yeah. That woman was cowering in a dinghy boat, and the shark blasts up through the boat, hitting her.
That's right. Much like the jacuzzi in Avalanche.
Correct.
Sharks.
Very similar. So why is this barrel the safest place for this girl?
Yeah. Well, believe me, they found something even better to hide her in the next city. So.
Oh yeah. So Junk City. So while Junk City's being decimated by the sharks, we cut to yet a different city, Salvation, which is much larger and much shoddier looking CG.
Yeah.
The CG just does appear to get worse.
They
as
kind
the
of
movie
put
goes
like a fog filter over it to make it look like it's bigger, but it just made it look worse.
Right.
So a flare gets sent up from Junk City, and the radio dispatcher Sipowicz over here. He's trying to get someone to spot what's going on because of the flare, and what unravels is this who's on first, who's on second routine.
Yeah.
I love this.
Where they're just, do you see Junk City? No, I don't see Junk City. Are you looking east? No, I'm looking west. Well, look east. Well, now I'm looking east. But where's Junk City? There is no Junk City. What the fuck?
What gets me is he says he can't see the city. There's nothing on the horizon. He can't see the city.
Yeah.
And in the very next shot, they show Junk City with plumes of smoke.
It's most of it's still there.
Yeah, it's entirely still there, and it's being called out by a giant tower of smoke that's coming out of it.
Oh my god! So we're introduced to was it Barrick or Garrick?
Barrack.
It's Barrick.
Barrick.
Which missed opportunity. This should have been Rob Van Dam.
I thought it was him. When he first appeared, I thought it was him.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, come on. You don't have to go for Rob Van Dam light. Rob Van Dam's got nothing to do.
Oh, he'll do it.
He could have.
He already knew how to
best.
work the boat too, because it was in Three-Headed Shark Attack.
Get Stanley in here.
I looked this guy up, and he's in all of Neil Blomkamp's movies.
Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, you just blew my mind.
Yeah, he's like probably a stunt guy or
Yeah.
something.
No, I remember him. I remember him in District. I remember him.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say I remember him in Elysium, too. Wow.
Yeah, deal with that.
Shit. Hard times.
Boy.
Yeah, poor bastard. He's a leading man now, though. He's
That's one way to look at it.
He's stealing roles from Rob Van Dam. So Barrett...
Wait. I'm sure he tells his friends, "Oh yeah, I got to roll over Van Damme." They're like, "You beat out Jean-Claude Van Damme for a movie?" No, Rob Van Damme.
and they're like, who?
Barrick is going to head to Junk City to check out what's going on. He's going to make a beeline because he was originally leaving Salvation to go to the Vestron Oceanic Institute because he's bringing them some copper or something because these dirt people are building a frickin' skyscraper-sized rocket. With what?
All these materials that they have.
The materials that Barrick is scrounging off of floating debris. They're building a rocket, a space rocket that's going to reverse global warming.
Yeah.
Well, you see, I was trying to figure out how long time had passed since everything went underwater.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure all that out, and for one reason and one reason alone. There's a background guy with a brand new pair of Chucks on.
Oh, there's plenty of brand new shit in this movie.
So I was like, okay, I get that you could probably find some Chucks floating around, but they wouldn't look like that.
Yeah. Garrick's boat doesn't look like it's got that many miles on it.
No.
No, I saw that boat. I was like, dang, it's a nice looking boat.
All the chrome on all the instruments is nice and shiny still. There's no rust.
Yeah, so, I mean, did the world go underwater last week? Or
It's what it seems like, yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of anachronisms like that made it confusing.
Yeah.
Well, it was the pair of Chucks that caught my eye because they were just bright white, and I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
There was another part where Barrick
Yes.
is bending over in front
don't
of the
know why
camera.
I'm
and
so
you can see the
enthusiastic that I
waistband of
noticed
his,
that too,
like,
but-
boxer briefs. Yeah, it's just like
Right.
they got boxer briefs in the future.
He's been saving that one pair.
Yeah.
So at the Vestron, we're introduced to a couple of people. Dr. Shaw, who's in charge of everything, leading the rocket development. Nichols,
Yeah.
who is like her right-hand woman, I guess.
Yeah, she's like second in command on this project or something.
And Bowtie McGee.
Yeah. Ishii.
Yep.
And Ishii. And
His fucking name is Hideo Ishiro.
not Asian, by the way.
No, he's just a hipster.
White hipster.
It's like I guess they had his name like that in the script, and then when they cast it, they didn't change his name.
Don't worry. His Japanese name is going to serve a purpose later in the movie.
Yeah. But, basically, water apocalypse has happened. Why are you still worried about wearing a bow tie and those stupid earrings?
Because he's a nerd. He's got to have the bow tie.
So
This is about archetypes.
yeah, this is the first of many long scenes of science jargon.
bullshit
Just
science
a
jargon.
bunch of
nonsense. And it just keeps going. It's like a 10-minute sequence of them explaining the frickin' rocket and how they're putting these scrubbers on the rocket. And they're going to shoot it into space, and the scrubbers are going to go out, and they're going to clean the CO2 out of the atmosphere or some shit.
See, that's another thing. You're gonna send a rocket that's gonna scrub CO2 out of the atmosphere. Cool. Even though that ain't gonna happen, let's say it does. I mean, they're acting like, well, we do that, we're gonna have land next week, fellas.
Yeah,
Like
it's
this,
just,
well,
it's
this
just
water's
gonna
gonna. So
it's just
what
gonna
I'm
fix
wondering
everything.
is, and I'm no, I'm not a weatherman or anything. I don't know what you got to be to study these types of things. But what the hell does the CO2 levels got to do with how high the ocean is?
Yeah,
Right. Well, I guess they're assuming that the removing the CO2 will let the heat escape.
it's going to drop the temperature, and
the seas will cool.
the ice caps will refreeze.
That's what I'm
Is that
saying.
what we're
You'd have to
hoping
go
for?
through another ice age for that to happen.
This is a prequel to Avalanche Sharks.
In other words, whatever you do, you're not going to see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
You know what it is, though? It is a sequel to Avalanche Sharks, because they were talking about climate, the warming climate is shortening the ski season. So,
Oh,
boom.
Cool. Snookums was behind the whole thing.
Yep.
Yes. Alpha Shark was Snookums the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, so after the jargon scene, we go back to Salvation, and we're introduced to the most scene-chewingest character I've ever seen in a movie ever.
I don't
So
know what
ridiculous.
I have no clue what scene chewing means. However, seeing the movie, I can only assume it means
It's that.
this broad who has the worst accent.
Her name was D'Amato?
D'Amato.
Yeah.
D'Amato.
Yeah.
And she's like the pirate queen of Salvation.
But it was like this
And
weird southern accent that wasn't a southern accent.
It's like a Savannah debutante, but with a little bit of just like, I don't know, Florida panhandle thrown in there. It's just all over the place.
Yeah,
and she's so big and elaborate with everything that she says.
Well, yeah, the word shark, it suddenly had three syllables in it.
Yeah. Showers.
Showers. Dr. Show.
Yeah.
Dr. Shaw, we gotta go get them showers. The fuck?
You know how many showers we pull out the water?
Again, with subtitles or without subtitles, I'm not sure I would have understood
Yeah.
half the stuff she was saying.
And then
I started watching this without the subtitles, and I wisened up and turned them on.
pristine makeup in the water apocalypse as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on all of our ladies, they're all looking good. They got to keep their makeup game up, you know.
Yeah.
More competition in the future,
I guess.
in the water future.
Yeah. So this,
Speaking of subtitles, really quick. I don't know if you guys noticed
subtitles
these
were way off.
early on. No, there was two subtitles that I thought were really funny during the initial shark attack.
okay.
There was one that said just reactions,
Yes.
and another that said efforts.
I didn't
I
notice
didn't see
that one.
either of those.
I saw reactions. That was it.
That made me laugh.
I did notice there were several lines that they put up a subtitle that were not spoken.
Right.
Yes.
Because
I just want to know what efforts sound like.
Yeah, I don't know.
it sounds a lot like crafting.
We need you to stand back there and effort the shit out of this scene.
That's what
problem,
D'Amato's doing. That's what effort sounds like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a scene about. I mean, it was her talking about what's happening with Junk City. Right?
Right.
Well, it was about what's happening with Salvation, how their resources are getting low and stuff.
Yeah. Because every scene that she was in, I couldn't get past her accent to actually withhold what she was actually saying.
Yeah, the accent is absurd, like beyond reason.
So there's a gyrocopter pilot, much like Mad Max.
Yep. And he also kind of looks to me like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, he did.
Budget Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I noticed that too. So he's...
How dare y'all speak of God that way?
Hey, nothing but respect for Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Y'all are on notice.
So, gyrocopter, he's going to fly out to Junk City with Barrick. And he spots the girl. Barrick gets her on the boat. And the sharks are closing in. So she's running along the pallets, and they're coming, and it's going to be close. And she just kind of steps onto the boat, and that's it. She's safe now.
Yeah, they kill it's like they start to sort of build tension, but then nothing happens.
No, at all.
It's like, is she going to make it? Is she going to make it? Yes, she made it.
Yep, she's absolutely going to make it.
And end of scene.
But they don't even really... It was kind of confusing as to where the boat was in relation to where the pallets were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it just kind of seemed like she just kind of David Blamed onto the boat somehow. And that was it.
But as they're making their escape, Barrick glances over his shoulder, and then it cuts to a deep underwater scene of the swarm of sharks, and the main shark has a glowy face, which
She got sequins and stuff on.
I'll refer to as Old Glowy from here on out. And
what was the point of that?
Well, right after they show that, they cut back to Barrick, and he says, "I've never seen anything like that." How'd he see that?
Dude, it goes on throughout the entire movie.
They glance out
deep into the ocean.
Yeah, they glance out into the open ocean, and they can see down underneath the water all these sharks. What's going on?
Maybe they've adapted in the 2 weeks since the water came up to where...
Instead of getting fins and gills like Costner, they can just see into water well.
Yeah.
They got deep sea vision now.
It's like they got built-in blue blockers. They can see, there's no problem now.
Oh, God. So, yeah, there's a glowy face shark. So, certainly that's going to come up later as something.
I think the only reason that shark had a glowy face was to differentiate it from all the other shitty sharks in the ocean.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They all look the same. You know, like, so this company Rogue State does the special effects or the VFX for like all of these movies.
Okay.
You'd think that they could build like one real good shark model and just reuse it.
Just one head.
I wonder what the interview process is when you go for a job over there. Like, if you're really good, they're like, no, look, you got to tone it down. That isn't what we're going for here. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, they're looking for C and worse students.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, your portfolio is awesome. We'll pass it along to a company that could use you, but we can't.
Yeah. They go to the career supervisor and say, "Who's left? We'll take them all."
Yeah.
Who's on academic probation right now?
That's our man.
You sweeping up in the back. Come on,
but
you're the lead.
But you know what? They end up being the smartest ones because that's constant work. Mm-hmm. Because they crank out these movies like there's no tomorrow.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Okay, so they're talking about a super pod of sharks,
right,
much like they've seen with dolphins.
Correct.
And D'Amato can't believe it, and she says "sharks" about 1,000 times, and I wanted to die.
Yeah.
And that's all I remember about that scene. So I'm sorry.
What I remember about that scene is she tells somebody to go get every able-bodied man in Salvation. And then they're all standing on the dock doing a shitty haka dance or whatever.
Well, that's we're not
With
there
a total of 5 people.
yet.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it.
First, we got to go back to the Vestron.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And while they're there, they Shanghai Barrick into taking them all back because apparently he's got the only boat on the planet.
Well, he's under contract too,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. So he's got to take them all back to Salvation because they've got iridium casings that they need for the rocket so that the scrubbers don't burn up in the atmosphere or something.
because everybody knows them scrubbers are finicky.
Yeah.
Easily atmospherically burned.
Yeah. And they're going to bring some shark tags along too because they want to tag some of these sharks to learn more about the super pod.
Because in every shark movie, that always goes so well.
Yeah, so they had to set up that they have tags because it's going to happen later, and it's going to be confusing when it does.
Yeah.
Trust me. So they get on the only boat in the world, and on their way there, there's another big jargony talk about
Just an enormous info dump.
about why the sharks are like this, and it's because the water got too warm, and when the water got too warm, it killed all the plankton, and all the little fish that ate the plankton died. Then all the medium fish that ate the little fish died. Then the large fish that ate the medium fish died. All that was left was sharks. So now,
But this is the first we're seeing of this kind of shark behavior.
Yeah.
So
Now-
she just knows
Did
this all of a
anybody
sudden.
see the photographic evidence that there was other things in the ocean besides the sharks?
Yeah.
The-
There's like
you
dolphins
see
and
seals in almost
just, like,
every
Oh, yeah.
scene.
playing around.
forgot about.
Anytime there's an overview shot of the boat, you see seals swimming around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't pay
No,
attention. To
pay no
those.
attention to the seals.
Those goddamn movie crashes. So yeah. So all that's left are quote unquote sharks
Right.
in the ocean, and it's making them look for food above the surface of
Right.
the water, which is why they're doing that.
Something they've evolved to do in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. So Garrick, Barrick, I'm gonna keep calling him Garrick. Barrick sees on his the radar of his boat that there's a huge shark in the center of the super pod, and they're all headed to Salvation with
Right.
them. They arrive at Salvation, and they say, "Oh, it's okay. We're gonna be safe here. Salvation's a big place. They've got shark nets and everything." But they don't have shark nets because D'Amato says that they had to salvage all the shark nets to build more expansions to Salvation.
So,
Yeah.
Something.
To which I thought, how do you turn nets into pallets?
With efforts.
Yeah,
Efforts.
That explains it.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
So,
She says the kind of fishing we do, nets just get in the way.
yeah.
In what world do nets get in the way when you're trying to fish?
Well, we're getting up to the scene that Blake was talking about. But first, they have a little quick discussion about how D'Amato wants to move the entire population of Salvation to the Vestron.
Right.
And Shaw's saying, that's not possible. We can't hold that many people. And that's when they set up where there's this other facility off of there that we can put some people in. And that's where the AARP laser is housed that we're going to come to find out. D'Amato says Shaw works a few more times.
Right.
I wrote down when she wants to get everybody down there to help fight the sharks. She says like double time. She wants them all down there double time.
I just wrote, I hate this woman.
Yeah, well, she's terrible. I just had to write down Dubatai.
So this is when the Maori war dance happens.
Yeah,
And
with 5
it's-
people.
With 5 people, and it's an awkward affair.
It's
say the
embarrassing. I feel embarrassed for them.
You could even tell, like, they were not even feeling it.
No.
They couldn't keep a rhythm either.
No.
The rhythm kept changing throughout the whole. So
The whole little song and dance number.
yeah. So the sharks are incoming, and I guess they're being drawn to the stomping and screeching. But then all our heroes get into a canoe and float out into the open water, which seems dumb to me.
Well,
They had to get on it to there's
go
some kind
10
of ferry service. They had to go back to their boat. They have to get ferried back.
Yeah.
Because they showed them getting in this boat when they got there, so they have to get back on it to get back.
Yeah.
But yeah, bad idea though.
Yeah. Well, after they get in their canoe and float away, the Maori war dance goes on for an awkward amount of time.
oh, it was ungodly.
It just keeps going. And what's going to happen here? And then finally the sharks attack, and D'Amato stabs the shark, lifts it up clean out of the water, effortlessly, and throws it onto the deck. Now, a 10-foot shark, a full body like a tiger shark or a bull shark or something, it's easily 200, 300 pounds.
I'm starting to think that shark wasn't even there.
But they're just spearing them and lifting up like they're little tilapias.
Yeah. I was also just like, aren't you guys starving to death? Like,
Yeah, they're killing them
the
and then
shark.
kicking them back in the water.
they're just kicking them back in. Eat that shark.
Yeah.
So as they're killing sharks and throwing them back in, one of the Salvationites lowers an unbaited hook into the water for reasons. And when that happens, old Glowy shows up, bites the hook, and drags the whole thing down into the water.
Right.
Which knocks all the Maori war party into the water. Takes down the whole barge. Now sharks are flying everywhere, and there's more
Just airborne.
more of that. Then Barrick notices someone's jacking his boat. So what does he do? He dives into the fucking water, swarming with sharks.
Thousands of sharks, we were told.
And he outswims the boat.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, as he's going, the sharks do go after him, but Nichols and the special girl that winds up not being so special are pounded on the deck to get their attention and save him. Apparently,
Well, that explains.
Yeah, the sharks.
That explains him
Yeah.
getting away
The
from
sharks
the sharks,
are-
but that does not explain how he caught up to a boat.
yeah.
Right.
Well, they do go into detail about how frickin' slow his boat is.
Yeah.
Later, so maybe
That's
it's
true.
that.
And also, when he finally does catch up to it, you can tell it's not moving. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it has to be not moving.
But as he's swimming to the boat, we cut back to the Maori war dancers, and the best thing in this movie happens.
Yep.
D'Amato gets killed. And I was so
She uses-
worried that she was going to wind up getting on that boat, and we would have to listen to her for the rest of the movie. Nope.
Thank God.
She,
Yeah, so she uses her special future person eyesight to spot the shark in deep water.
Yeah.
And her plan, I guess, is to jump in the water and spear it there.
But she gets cut off at the
yeah.
pass.
She like jumps off the end of the dock and gets yanked out of the water by another
yeah.
shark.
The shark she didn't see, the raptor
Right.
shark.
She didn't spot that one. One thing that I kind of liked about this movie, now don't get me wrong, please.
How could you say that?
I'm just saying, at least they didn't just pop
Yeah.
This is
when they
true.
got bit. They had a real person there, and they actually fell in the water.
Yeah.
But then they just superimposed a shark
Right.
over top of
Yeah.
them.
So after D'Amato gets chomped, Salvation starts exploding because flying sharks. It's starting to sink. So the
Exploding.
Yeah.
What is happening?
well, it's being attacked. You don't know how volatile pallets can get if you jostle them up.
They're really unstable.
Especially when they're made from nets.
Yes. So, since it's sinking, they all have to jump in the water with all the sharks. So they do that. Barrick catches up with his boat, climbs on, gets in a spear gun fisticuff fight with the boat jacker. As he's wrestling around with him, he manages to get him over the side of the boat, and a shark jumps up and bites his head off.
Right.
Now, this part was kind of rad. If it had been in a better movie, we'd be like, oh, shit.
It'd have been radder if it was Rob Van Dam.
Oh, for sure. But, this really wasn't the worst, fist fight I've ever seen. It was kind of competent.
It wasn't Dolph Lundgren slowly pantomiming at some guys in his house.
Right, it was way better than that.
Yeah.
Way better. I mean, I was actually engaged for a brief moment in this movie because this fight was edited and choreographed pretty well. That's why I have to assume that the actor playing Barrick is some kind of stunt person or something.
Yeah. So after that, the rest of the crew also swim out to the boat and get to it safely, all of them. They all climb on.
Undercutting the threat of the thousands of sharks
Yes.
swimming underneath them.
That just sunk a city enough sharks to
Yeah.
sink a city. They outswam them all.
Right.
Barrick then picks up a bow and arrow that just happened to be there, and he's gonna take out old Glowy because he sees old Glowy under the water as well. But right as he launches the arrow, another shark dives in front of it heroically.
Yeah.
What a hero. The true hero of this movie.
Which it's that point in the movie where you're supposed to say, "What?" but you don't.
No.
But you're like, oh.
What does get said is that doesn't make any sense. Sharks aren't altruistic.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So, just when you thought, hey, we haven't had a science-y jargon scene in a while. Well, we get one. And it's all about electrocommunication.
Yep.
Good grief. Every single bit of dialogue with two lines of exception is exposition.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's painful.
And they just start throwing around ampullae of Lorenzini around like you're supposed to know what the fuck that is.
They really wanted to come off as knowing that they knew what they were talking about.
Yeah, they're
Wow.
what they are.
When I heard that, I'm wondering. I was like, where are these in relation to the claspers?
to the anal
Are
fins.
they anywhere near the anal fins?
Because so far, the only thing I know about shark anatomy is claspers, anal fins, and this lapis lazuli antenna. And that's it.
All the science in this movie is Prosquarius at best.
Yes, exactly.
So they go on and on about how sharks can receive electro signals, and that's how they find their prey. And, it goes, it's not too much of a stretch of an imagination that a shark would be able to send out electrocommunication. But, again, she just figures it out by assuming.
Yeah.
Right.
just a lot of assumptions. This is the worst info dump of all of them.
This was the longest one.
Yeah, because it goes from, like, talking about how the sharks are doing what they're doing to, like, developing a plan that's ridiculously complex.
Yeah.
This is where I nodded off a few times. I'm just going to say.
This is one of the scenes where I stopped paying attention out of just self-preservation.
Yeah.
But I did get, they decide how they're going to do this is they're going to go to this offshore site that has a laser beam, and they're going to shoot the laser beam up into space. They're going to bounce it off the ionosphere and shoot it down into a volcano and make the volcano erupt on the sharks.
Right.
Yeah.
But not that straightforward of an explanation.
Yeah, it took a long time to get to that point.
Yeah. And
I'll tell you, at one point when they're explaining everything, I literally said, fuck it, Chase can win.
I didn't even attempt to write down all the details of these jargony talks.
Well, boys, you're in trouble.
Oh, God.
No, I'm just kidding.
Son of a bitch. So they also say that they're gonna rig up a device that's going to mimic a capsized boat with hundreds of passengers in the water. What this device turns out to be is a styrofoam ball with some pudding cups taped to the side of it.
Yes.
So they're going to take that out to the volcano and dump it. It's going to lure all the sharks there, and then laser beam, no more sharks.
Sounds like a solid plan.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I had to keep reminding myself. I was like,
I wish I can convey, because I folks, I hope you don't watch this movie. But I really wish I could convey how long this scene was, because we just wrapped it up, and I've got a paragraph of notes of just what the fuck are they talking about? Jesus Christ, enough with the jargon. It just keeps going. There's no way for me to really, without you seeing it, know how long this frickin' scene was.
Yeah. Yeah, it really just goes on and on and on. And the worst part is that all of this yakking, all it amounts to is, we're going to blow up the sharks with a volcano. Yeah. It's so stupid.
So they give the device to the Whirlybird pilot, and
right.
So he's going to fly it out there and drop it. Well, he gets only barely a few feet out, and a shark leaps out of the water and takes down the entire frickin' helicopter.
I mean, how far did that shark have to jump out of the water? It looked like hundreds of feet.
Well,
my notes right there says apparently the sharks beat him to the rocket race. Because,
yeah. Sharks have jetpacks now.
Yeah.
But how high did it have to jump? Much higher than a paraglider could go. That's how high.
Yeah.
Oops. Spoiler.
Right.
Guess what happens next? Nichols decides, what's the next safest way outside of a flying vehicle? I'll just pick up a paraglider with a boogie board, and I'll just boogie my ass over to the volcano. Gah.
What are the odds? So Barrick was going to go himself.
He was going to go.
His kite surfing rig, and then Nichols is like, "No, we need you on the boat. Yeah. I'll do it."
You know this boat better than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, the forward.
Yeah.
And the steering.
The only boat.
Yeah, but she's like the best kite surfer in the world, apparently.
I also liked how they just sped up the camera to make it look like she was going faster.
She was going like the speed of light. It's just going so fucking fast.
And anytime a shark got close, she just popped up into the air and flew about 100 yards.
She did a sick McTwist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get me when I'm up in the air, sharks.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So, okay. We go back to the Vestron, and Bowtie thinks that working on this AARP laser is a waste of time. And we
I totally checked out. Anytime that dude talked, I checked out.
Well, he just wanted to keep working on the rocket. The rocket was more important. They only have a short window to launch it, and wasting time on anything else is going to be not good. So, but they need.
I thought this was going to set up some kind of conflict, at Vestron.
Conflict in this deep conflict that crosses different characters, and no,
Right.
He voices his concern.
he voices
Monroe
concern,
says,
and
"Shut up, Bowtie,"
and they do it anyway.
and they go do it.
Yeah. So they go to the station that is powerless, and he clickety clacks on an old dusty computer for a little bit, and everything just jumps back to life.
I love this. I love the set here. It's like a pair of folding tables with whatever trash computers they could find.
Yeah, it was like the old iMacs
piled
were
on
sitting
top.
on there.
Yeah. Yeah, they had the translucent blue IMAX and shit that they're gonna launch this laser with.
Which when did all this happen? Once again, the timeline is so screwy.
Yeah, this is actually the past.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah. Ooh. Long time ago in a
Twist.
galaxy
Big
far
twist.
yeah.
So they get the AARP laser back up and running. And he says, well, it's too dangerous for someone to be here and launch it. We have to trigger it remotely. And they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if Dr. Shaw's going to like that or not. But, this is where he actually puts his foot down, and this is the way we're doing this.
Right.
So we cut back to Nichols. She drops the device off at the volcano, the little styrofoam ball. And they give her 3 minutes to get away from the area before they blast it with a super laser.
Right.
yeah. How many megatons did they say the explosion was going to be?
Something absurd.
Seems like it's like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And she can get away kite surfing in 3 minutes.
When you see them shoot the thing, this is something that Cobra Commander would think up to
Yeah.
destroy a city. It's that absurd of a laser. So
I'm starting to think that laser wasn't even there.
Nichols gets out of the area. They do a countdown. They fire off the ridiculous laser into space. And while Bowtie is clickety-clacking on the computer, he's straining and grunting like he's physically manipulating this laser.
Yeah.
It's like Dean Cain all over again.
I was just about to say, he called up Dean Cain and was like, you have any pointers for doing this movie? Yes.
It's like look like it's hard. Look like typing is real difficult.
Try so hard that the subtitles have to say efforts.
Yeah.
He's
craft
just
the shit out of that
hammering
laser.
on those keyboard too.
God, Dean Cain. Why couldn't Dean Cain be in this movie?
Yeah, put Dean Cain in the bow tie. So they shoot the laser up, and the laser is being absorbed into the ionosphere or something, and it has to do that for so long before he can redirect it from the computer.
Yeah, see, this is where science really broke down in the movie. Because it's talking about a laser beam.
Yeah, shouldn't it have just bounced off, and they should have angled it to where they wanted it to bounce in the first goddamn place? There's nothing
Right.
they can do now that they shot it.
I mean, chances are the laser wouldn't bounce off of anything. I mean, it would just go.
I don't even think it's supposed to be a laser per se. It's supposed to be some
It's
just
like
kinda,
electricity or something, isn't it?
Waves, yeah.
Well, it looks like the Independence Day gun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's hitting the ionosphere and it's being absorbed, and he's saying, oh no, just a little bit more time, and his little partner there say, no, we gotta cut the power because it's gonna knock everything out. And he manages to make it bounce through ways.
Right.
And it shoots down into the water, and he tells her to cut the power, so she pulls the plug on it, which knocks her out, again for reasons.
Even though she's wearing, they showed her put on these giant rubber gloves. She should have been fine.
Oh, there was a nasty spark when she pulled that thing out.
Oh, yeah, you gotta watch out. You gotta watch for them sparks.
Yeah. So the laser goes down, it hits the volcano, which we in that long jargon scene, they explain that when you hit magma with electricity, it gets excited. It saw a
Almost
sign.
as much as if it saw a sign.
Gross.
So they do that. There's a huge underwater fireball that launches up and kills some of the sharks, but not all of the sharks.
Well, how
Yeah,
are
this-
sharks
it only-
catching on fire underwater, though?
Dude, the whole plan has been it's just insane up to this point. But yeah, they only show, what, like 5 sharks,
Yeah,
maybe?
not many.
Get killed by this thing?
Yeah,
Not-
but they're set ablaze underwater.
yeah.
They're actually, like, incinerated immediately.
I'm starting to think this volcano wasn't even there.
I'm starting to think this movie wasn't real.
Right.
This movie wasn't based on reality.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, because they did that, it causes a tsunami.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, and not only did it cause a tsunami, the laser sent out an EMP that knocked out all the electricity at the rocket place.
Right.
So,
Now what are they going to do?
what are they going to do? They're going to have another jargony scene where they talk about energy and whatnot and electric fucking eels. No, wait, the eels is to come. There's more
yeah.
jargon, folks. Don't worry. But yeah, they talk about energy somehow, and I checked out.
Well, I started listening when they started talking about the electric eel and how much energy this shark could produce.
That's coming up.
Okay.
That wasn't this scene. This
All
was
right,
a
I will
different
stop.
scene. Yeah. I'm glad we got 3 people watching this because I don't think we would have gotten all these details. 'Cause-
Yeah, no. I don't think so.
okay, so the tsunami is approaching our heroes on Barrick's boat, and he guns it, and they're gonna ride it up like in Perfect Storm. He's gonna George
Well-
Clooney the wave.
Can I also point out the problem with the tsunami?
Yeah.
Tsunamis don't really take effect until they get into shallow water.
Nah.
Like, they don't turn into giant
No.
waves.
They happen right out in the middle of the ocean.
So,
Well, a tsunami caused by a super laser bouncing off the ionosphere triggering a volcano might.
all right.
You didn't think of that, did you?
I didn't. Never mind. Fuck me, right?
So they make it over the tsunami wave, only to find out
Oh.
that old Glow has survived, and it's gunning for nickels on her boogie board,
Right.
and she starts doing some X Games shit to get away from it.
Yep.
But in the process, Glowy knocks the board out from under her feet, and now she's just being drugged through the water, just
Yeah.
on her face. But don't worry, because that's an effective way of getting to safety, because she does.
Yeah. Apparently,
Yeah, they just-
you become immune to glowing sharks whenever you do that.
They just happen upon her. Like, they're just there magically,
This,
just in time.
this is where we have a couple of back-to-back lines that are on closed caption but not spoken in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's one where Shaw is gonna tag the shark, and when there's a line that says, "What are you doing?" But no one says that.
Right.
And she responds that she's tagging the shark.
Right.
She responds to nothing. And whenever she does this, she picks up a spear, and she's pointing the spear at the camera as if she's pointing it at the shark. And you see the whole spear. It's just a spear. And she stabs Glowy with it, and in the next scene, Glowy has a big blinking red device on its face.
Right.
So, yeah. That got
Nice continuity, assholes.
So, they arrive to the facility with the iridium casings. The station is now sinking because of the EMP blast, and they have to launch the rocket, but there's no power. Cue another jargon scene. This one's about the eels and shit. So, Blake,
Right.
go with what you're doing.
Okay, so they talk about how much power this shark can generate. And it's like an electric eel. It sends out these pulses. But, okay, with that amount of power, they were talking kilojoules of power.
Yeah.
If it were to send out anything into that water like that, all those sharks around it would instantly go belly up.
It would kill everything.
Yeah. Including itself, most likely. So, right away, that's bad. That doesn't work that way. But can I talk about when she tried to harness the energy of it? Or are we not there yet?
We're not there yet. We're
Damn
getting
it.
there. Don't
Okay.
worry. It's coming.
All right. That's all I got.
Yeah. So, yeah, they decide that they're gonna utilize old Glowy to power the rocket to launch it.
Get that shark power.
Yeah.
And while they're walking out to do this, Nichols says, "I'm gonna decode the signals that Glowy's sending out so that we can become the alpha shark and control the other sharks, 'cause this movie's dumb." Just so much convenience science. Just, I know exactly why the sharks are being crazy. I know exactly why we should how to control the sharks. What was the other thing that she just thinks the fuck up? Oh, how to use the goddamn laser to make a volcano happen.
And now that I'm thinking about it, the only one who wasn't willing to do such things was Ishii.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the only voice of reason.
Yeah. That was his role.
He's a
So-
damn hipster, though.
Yeah.
That's what the bow tie, though.
So,
That's how you know.
so they go back to the IMAX to get ready to launch the thing. But not before old Ishii gets his trusty wakizashi.
Yeah.
Jesus
At this
Christ.
point, they're not even being attacked by sharks.
No,
It's just like
he's getting ready.
the threat is that the station is sinking.
Yeah.
And he grabs a sword
Yeah.
for that situation.
See, and this really showed that he was a true hipster. Because he didn't just have the normal samurai sword.
Yeah.
No. He had to have the shorter one, whatever it's called, whatever Chase just said,
The wakizashi.
just so he could educate people when they asked. Or they say, hey, you got a samurai sword? No. It's a
It's a
wakizashi.
wakizashi.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, it's a wakizashi. It was
Traditionally,
used for
a samurai
indoor
would
combat.
leave his katana at the door when coming inside. He would use his wakizashi if he had to battle indoors. Jackass.
Right. But then you immediately got to call party foul on him because he goes outside with it.
Not before he plants a kiss on Monroe, though.
Yeah.
Because we
Fucking-
were supposed
Oh.
to know that they were building a relationship between them the whole movie.
Yeah, the sexual tension was.
Non-existent.
That's the word. That's the word.
Yeah, because
So-
she's probably sitting there thinking, okay, the world's underwater and I'm stuck with this weeaboo in this brick walled marine station.
So most of the crew goes outside ready to defend the installation.
Right.
And Sipowicz is with him the whole time, if you didn't know. And he decides he's going to take our special girl from the beginning and lock her up in a Foot Locker-sized cage.
Right.
Because
safety?
that's where she'll be safe on this sinking facility.
Yeah, don't go inside where most people are. We're going to put you in this little shoebox of a cage on the edge of the dock.
Yeah, on the extreme edge corner. So
that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be.
He picks up a spear. He doesn't know how to spear. He's holding it backwards.
Right.
What a silly man.
I chuckled a bit when I saw it.
He doesn't last long. He winds up falling in the water. And he's asking her for help after he just locked her in a cage.
Yeah, what do you want her to do now?
So he gets munched, and
he gets ate fucking hard.
yeah, he gets
eaten harder than anybody.
Yeah, he gets the worst death out of all of them. Now, as this is happening, more sharks come to get the girl, but like a goddamn Shogun assassin, here comes Ishii with his wakizashi and just ninjas the fuck out of all these sharks.
He's flipping out, slicing and dicing.
Yeah, they even have like a shark like tried to free willy over him, and he, hit him with the Shawala knife or whatever he's got underneath the belly, and
Without looking at it, he just kind of swings it behind
Yeah.
him.
no blood fell
Of
on
all-
him, or no blood on the Ginsu or anything, but
Of all the characters to give a badass moment to,
yeah,
Yeah,
this dude.
this fucking guy.
Gah. All right, so Nichols deciphers the code, and she tries to get the sharks to attack Glowy, and they kind of do, but not really. Like one kind of
They
bites
do.
it, and get out of here, and that's it.
Yeah,
Right.
but Alpha ain't no bitch.
Yeah.
Alpha kicks all their asses.
So they lower a shipping container down to the surface of the water, and Shaw's in there with two big metal poles that are attached to some wire that go up to the rocket.
Right.
Because that's all it needs. Just some jumper cables.
Yeah.
Space rocket ready to go.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're spending all this. Elon Musk is spending all this freaking money for. That's all you need.
Okay.
Jumper
just need a
cables on a
mutant
rocket.
shark, dude.
So she has these giant knife probes
Yeah.
that she's gonna stab into the shark's head. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the shark that produces electricity, you're gonna stab it in the head, which will most likely kill the shark, to try to get the electricity from the shark.
Ah.
Shut up, Blake.
And then,
Starting to think you're one of these people that just can't enjoy a movie.
I mean, I don't know. Like, is it DC? Is it AC? We don't really know. I mean,
Oh god. Yeah. So, Glowy leaps up into the shipping container after Shaw does some awkward screaming at it.
right?
She's trying to do Ripley at the end of Aliens.
Yeah, and it does not do.
No.
So she stabs Glowy, and it sends the power up into the rocket. Rocket launches up into space, but Shaw and Glowy drop down into the water.
Yeah.
And here was my first laugh of the movie. When Shaw gets eaten, it's pretty uneventful, and no one cares.
Nobody cared.
She's just kind of in the water, and Glowy swims up to her, and she screams at it, and it just kind of like opens its mouth and just passes over her, and then she's
Right.
gone.
She pops.
She
Pops like a grape.
There's a little pop, and then it shows reaction shots from Barrick and everyone, and they have no expression at all.
You gotta figure they've seen so much death at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just old hat at this point.
They're all on Barrick's boat. Glowy leaps onto the boat. And it's kind of, just floundering there.
Yeah, now it's stuck like an idiot.
Yeah. Barrick and Nichols jump out of the boat into the water. And the boat's just kind of in the background, just jogging down, and rams into the facility and explodes.
Turns into PlayStation 2
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah. Now, aren't there still lots of sharks in the water?
Sure they are, but they're not being controlled anymore. Duh.
Yeah, they're free now.
Oh, aren't they still starving sharks with nothing to eat?
There's plenty of seals and dolphins around.
The alpha shark just liked people.
Yeah, it just blinded them to the fact that there's plenty of food everywhere.
Yeah.
So they all swim to the sinking station and climb up, and Ishii points out, "Oh, we've still got a few escape boats we can get to." So they all
now they have boats.
Yeah, now more boats miraculously appear. So they all run to the boats, fade out. 6 months later, our heroes are on a more different boat, and by boat I mean skiff.
Yeah.
And they're just cruising along, and they point out something on the horizon with big smiles on their faces. And it's the Statue of Liberty, now out of the water.
Yeah.
The sea level's lowering. And behind the Statue of Liberty is the New York City skyline, and it's all pristine.
Yes.
There's no blown out windows from pressure of being underwater.
All the antennas are fine.
It even looks like there's some lights on in some of the buildings.
No, the water just cleaned everything off. Like New York's gonna be spotless when it's all out of the water.
And that's it.
Yeah. That's it.
Roll credits.
Fuck you, movie.
Fuck.
Yeah, this
you.
one was a whooping.
We didn't even. I really did expect at least get your fins off me or something.
I was hoping.
Anything.
Like, honestly, when they first showed the girl who we thought was going to be Waterworld girl but turned out not to be, I was like, okay, her name's going to be Nova. And no. Mm-hmm. Like, even that would have been fine.
Yeah, no connections to apes at all.
Yeah.
They had more connections to Jaws than they did to
Yeah.
apes. Did you notice that Shaw's name was Dr. Roy Shaw for Roy Scheider and
Oh,
I
God.
didn't notice
Robert
that.
Shaw.
No, come on.
Roy, yeah. I didn't know her first name was that.
Yeah, first name is Roy.
They always did call her Sir, too.
I'm you know what I'm thinking, like I said with Ishii, I feel like they had things a certain way in the script, and then when they cast it, they just didn't change the names
Yeah.
to match the actors they cast.
I don't know. Then again, I might just be assuming pronouns at this point, and I need to stop.
Well, sure. That's always possible.
Okay, so that trial is done.
Well, the acting wasn't as bad as a lot of the movies we've seen.
Did you see a little character called D'Amato?
Okay, with one very significant exception. No, everybody was all right. Like, what's his name? Sipowicz was pretty good. He had a line that made me laugh too, where he said, "They're on the boat," and he said, "This boat's slower than my metabolism." That was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I bet it wasn't his idea to say that line.
Yeah, probably not.
Well,
anyway.
should we settle this this Shark Month
Yeah,
thing?
let's do it.
Let's do it. If you've been keeping score, folks, I'm still up by 2. So we will see where this goes. Ready when you are, John.
Okay. Whew. I'm nervous for you guys here. Question 1. What is the population of Salvation?
Ooh. Shit. I know what it's above.
That isn't what he asked you.
I think I. Shit. Okay.
All right. Barracks. The clock on Barracks sonar only ever displays two times. If you can name me either time that it shows.
Stab in the
me
dark.
too.
How much of a shark's brain, according to Dr. Nichols, is dedicated to smell?
Jesus Christ. Where were you last week, John?
Number 4.
Yep.
What is the Osprey's top speed?
Well, I just tied it up.
Ooh, if we tie, we gotta go to the sudden death question.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
and that's if I don't get any right.
Okay, what is the name of the area where they need to drop the transmitter?
Oh, no. Okay.
No, I remembered this one. I just need a second. Because I can't remember.
All right, time's up. Let's start doing this thing.
God.
All right. Question 1. What's the population of Salvation?
436.
436.
That's 436?
I knew it was over 430 something. I guessed at the last number.
All right, what are the times that show on Barracks sonar?
Flashing 12 noon.
I put 130.
It was either 9:33 or 6:14. And it was mostly 9:33. Throughout the entirety of the movie, it was 9:33. How much of a shark's brain, according to Dr. Nichols, is dedicated to smell?
90%.
I put 90%.
It was 2/3.
You need to tell us we had to do a fraction, not a percent.
Well, that's what she said. She said 2/3. She never said 90%.
It's hilarious that we both got the exact same wrong answer, though.
What is the Osprey's top speed?
30 miles an hour.
17 knots.
Oh, it was 30 knots.
Oh, son of a bitch.
When did he go 30?
He never went 30. He went,
Not how fast did it go, how fast did he claim it could go?
he said that the top speed is 30 knots.
Oh.
It's over. The last one doesn't even matter.
It only reached 17 knots, though. Because he went down to work on it. It was at 15 knots. And when he did something, I don't know, he blew on a cartridge or something, and he got 2 more knots out of it.
That's not what he asked, Blake. He asked how fast is the top speed of it.
I'm sorry.
It's a trick fucking question.
Oh man, being the quiz guy is no fun. Everyone gets mad at you.
Yeah, but you've gotta be the one that calls when there's a dispute.
There's a line in the movie that says the top speed's 30 knots.
I keep going.
What is the area called where they need to drop the transmitter?
I put
It's
the
some kind of
caldera.
ridge. It's
It's
a ridge.
Dwilson Ridge.
Dwilson.
Dwilson.
Oh.
So oh my goodness. So tight.
We got a little Van Damme in our future, and not the Rob variety. Speechless.
It's fury silence. I can hear it.
Well, I can say it's not going to be right out the gate. I'm going to save it. I'm going to savor it.
The
You'll
boat
never know
only
when it's
went
coming.
17 knots.
I know. I know. I'm sorry, it was confusing.
Well, with that out the way, do we have some ideas for shark movies?
Oh, yes. Yes. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Mine's short.
It was Blake's idea.
Yeah.
So it's very short. It's more just a trailer for the movie.
Okay.
And it's I guess like a big diving pool. So it's just a pool, just clear water, and you can see a shape in the distance. And as that shape becomes clear, it is a naked Steven Seagal in the lotus position underneath the water, with just his sunglasses on, and then he opens up his eyes. Well, moves his sunglasses. Sorry, and he just says, "I knew you were sentient," and then it just says, "Boom, coming July 4th, 2018," and that's it.
That's fantastic.
Oh, man.
I'll go next because I think John, yours is probably the most fleshed out one.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I'll let you go. Mine, I more just came up with the title and then a loose idea.
Okay.
Okay.
The title of mine is going to be Noah's Shark. And it's
Based on an idea by Blake.
and it's,
I remember he said no back when.
did he say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
I thought of that. Never mind. Next.
No, go ahead. I never came up with any ideas.
get the
It was
idea.
whenever we were talking about like Raiders of the Lost Shark and all that, and I said Noah's Shark.
Oh, that's way back.
Yeah.
That's old shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I don't remember. No, I would like this to be a retelling of that classic tale, but with like a gritty post-apocalyptic vibe to it, where the raiders are trying to get on Noah's Ark, but he's got a renegade group of sharks to help protect them.
So wouldn't it be Noah's Sharks?
No, don't mess up the pun.
The pun is the most important
Puzzle-
part of these movies.
Yeah, we're doing this like Asylum style. The title is it all.
Okay. Sorry.
What the actual movie is irrelevant. And Rob Van Dam is going to be Noah.
How fast can the ark go?
30 miles an hour.
Okay.
Okay, John.
All right, I had a couple ideas. The first one is a live action Street Sharks, which would be pretty jawsome.
Wow.
But no, my
CG or puppets?
oh, I mean, you know, like I want him to Michael Bay it, you know, like the Ninja Turtles, just fuck it all up.
Give them weird noses.
Yeah, Yeah, they just look like horrible monsters instead of what they're supposed to be.
I didn't have any problem with the Ninja Turtles movies.
Oh, don't get Blake started on the Ninja Turtles movies.
I watched the second one today.
Even-
actually,
Michael Bay.
Even Mecha
Michael Bay.
Shredder?
Michael Bay did nothing wrong in his eyes.
I had problems with Mecha Shredder.
I enjoyed the movies.
All right. Okay, my other idea has like a couple different possible titles. Escape from Shark Prison
Okay.
or The Great White Escape. Aping on the Great Escape.
But it has to have nothing to do with the Great Escape.
No, absolutely not. I took this kind of seriously. I wanted. This is a movie I want to watch. I was mashing up genres and stuff. So, welcome to Tiburon Prison. Home to the enemies of the reigning despot of a post-apocalyptic future. So, all the prisoners are held in clear glass cells below the surface of the ocean and are guarded by the sea's deadliest hunters, great white sharks. If any prisoner were to somehow escape their cage, a water pressure gauge in their ankle bracelets would respond by opening a wound in their legs, filling the water with the scent of blood and justice.
Holy shit.
Sharks are fueled by justice.
Fueled by justice.
They got too much justice in their blood.
So there's only enough cages to go around, and somebody's got to feed the sharks. So whenever new prisoners show up, a bunch of the old batch got to go in the water. So the prisoners got to stage an escape.
Huh.
Wow. You put more into this than I thought we were going to put.
I'm telling you, like, I want to watch this.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Well,
So I don't. That's about as far as I got. I was trying to figure out how they're gonna get out, but
well,
that's good enough
Yeah.
for our purposes right now.
I say John wins the pitch off.
Well, yeah, that's a lot better than Planet of the Sharks.
So yeah, our you really earned that plucky intern moniker.
Yay!
But I can say now, not plucky intern for long, because we can officially announce now, John is going to be joining us as a permanent host on Garbage Theater.
Yeah, but before you do that, go get me some fucking coffee.
He's still going to get the coffee.
Okay.
And we still expect this level of enthusiasm from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's got to bring some enthusiasm to the show.
We're just bitter and jaded. At
You
this
guys are
point.
downers.
Well, yeah.
Well, you will be too once you get through a season of this.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were still having fun around episode 4 and 5. We were still having a blast.
No, I'm sure my spirits will be crushed soon enough.
So
But I'm really excited. I'm really happy to be doing this with you guys.
well,
It's fun.
We're glad to have you. On season 2, which will be starting the following week from this episode, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to be splitting the show into 2 different shows on the same feed, where one week we will have an episode titled Coming Attractions, and the following week will be Garbage Theater. And the way it's going to work is Coming Attractions will be when we propose the 2 movies that are up for the next actual Garbage Theater based on the results of the quiz. We are going to rotate our moderator. I will be starting as I won season 1, and Blake and John will be going head to head. The winner of that will become moderator of the next episode, and we get to watch their movie, and I will go down and do battle with the other person. And we'll see how that goes. I think we've got a solid structure for a 3-host dynamic.
All right.
So on that, I do need to pick what our first movie of season 2 is going to be.
Oh boy.
And it's a humdinger.
Chase has been teasing us.
Yeah. on another deep chain of looking at a movie and then the recommendations for that movie and then the recommendations for that movie, just down the rabbit hole I went and found this gem. And when I watched the trailer, it sealed it. For season 2, episode 1, we will be watching the 2014 smash hit Field Freak.
What?
With an IMDb score of 3.1 stars. And this is the clincher. Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic don't acknowledge this movie even exists.
Oh, God.
You know how when you normally look at one of these trash movies, it'll come up with the picture of it and just say NA? You don't even get that. You get no results found.
So this was just made by some dudes in a backyard.
Yeah, god damn it.
In a field, I should say.
It had a budget, a whopping $9,000.
Oh, fuck. I know exactly what this movie's gonna look like.
Tagline, he wants you out. So
Okay.
let me give you the little synopsis here. A family moves into an abandoned cabin in Beaver Pelt Falls, Idaho.
We've all been there.
Charles, a former best-selling writer, is desperately trying to pen his next book and needs a place free of distractions, The Shining. Little does he know, his entire family is being watched. Strange bumps in the night escalate to a nerve-wracking encounter. Things then take a wacky turn when they hire a psychotic pest control guy and are led to believe that rabid beavers are to blame. It's not until they visit a roadside root beer distillery and meet a man named Ned Perkins that they learn what the bumps in the night really are. And according to Ned, they are all going to die.
Oh my god.
Directed by Stephen Folker. This is a Stephen Folker production.
Music by Stephen Folker.
He's all... There you go.
Funding by Stephen Folker's mom and dad.
He's also known for The Orange Man, The Mustache Movie, and The Legend of the Turquoise Nipples.
Oh my god, dude.
Reviews! I laughed till I cried. Okay, if you're into the comedic horror subgenre, and get your freak on. For the European release of this movie, it was retitled, and in German, it loosely translates to Outside Monster.
How did this guy get international distribution?
So, yeah, gentlemen, we are starting season 2 off right.
Oh, I don't even know what to say.
I mean, obviously I have to reserve my judgment for watching the trailer, but god damn it, I'm scared.
When I watched the trailer for this, I can only imagine this is what Blake feels like when he finds that juicy movie. And he's just thinking, oh, just the thought of him having to watch this is so good. And that's exactly what I felt watching the trailer to this.
Shit.
It's It's Troll 2 level bad. To give
Honestly,
you an
I
idea.
expect worse.
It very
expecting
may well
worse.
be.
Here's trivia for Troll 2. What was the name of the town?
I've only watched Troll 2 once, and that's one too many times, so I'm not going to be able to answer any trivia on it.
I actually haven't seen Troll 2 apart from
At least I
clips.
think it's 2.
I
It might
own
be
Troll
1. I'm
2.
not sure. Anyway, the town is
what-
called Nilbog. Goblin backwards.
That's right.
Goblin backwards.
That's because they're not actually trolls,
Right.
they're goblins.
Yeah.
They just slap the troll branding on it to
Right.
sell it. They couldn't get Sonny Bono back from the first one.
Nilbog.
So yeah,
Field freaks.
there we go. We're watching Field Freak.
Great.
Oh, the trailer is gonna. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh, well.
So, on that note, folks, we're watching Field Freak. You can find it on Amazon. Watch it or don't. Again, we recommend that you don't. And we will see you next week for the start of Garbage Theater Season 2.
Kill me.
Thank you for listening to Garbage Theater. To get the latest episodes, please subscribe on iTunes and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/garbagetheater. You can also listen to Garbage Theater anytime, anywhere on Stitcher Radio on Demand. Download the free app today.